There is a wall. You can't see it. You can't touch it. You can't point to it on a map. But it's there. And it's the reason that most people who want financial freedom never reach it. Not because they don't work hard enough. Not because they don't earn enough. Not because the opportunity isn't there. But because of this wall, this invisible barrier between where they are and where they want to be. And here's what makes it so dangerous. It doesn't look like a wall. It looks like a feeling. I'll start when I'm ready. I'll invest when I have more. I'll build something when the time is right. These thoughts feel reasonable. They feel responsible. They feel like patience. But they are the wall, made of hesitation, made of comfort, made of the belief that the right moment is coming, when the right moment is always now. And this video is going to show you exactly what this wall is made of, how to see it clearly, and how to walk through it. The wall is built from three things. The first is identity, what you believe about yourself, financially. Most people carry a financial identity, formed before they were old enough to choose it. We're not the kind of family that has money. Rich people are just lucky. Money is complicated. I'm not good with numbers. Investing is for people who already have money. These beliefs were absorbed from parents, from environment, from early experiences with money, and they feel like facts. They feel like just the way things are. But they're not facts. They're stories. Stories that were told to you before you knew they were just stories. And here's why identity is the first brick in the wall. Because your behavior always matches your identity. If you believe you're someone who can't save, you won't save. If you believe investing isn't for people like you won't invest. If you believe wealth is for other people, you'll unconsciously make decisions that confirm that belief. Every time. Not because you're weak, because the brain is extraordinarily good at proving whatever you already believe. Let's put a number on this. 2 people. Same income, same opportunities, same starting point. Person A believes, I'm not good with money. I'll probably always struggle financially. Person B believes, I'm learning to build wealth. Every decision I make moves me forward. Same circumstances, different identity. Over 10 years. Person A makes financial decisions consistent with struggle, spends impulsively, avoids investing because it's not for me, saves inconsistently. Net result, minimal savings, minimal growth. Person B makes financial decisions consistent with building, automates savings, invests small amounts consistently, redirects spending gradually. Net result, $200 a month invested for 10 years at 8%, $36,589. From the same income, from the same opportunities. The only difference was the story each person told themselves every day about who they were with money. Identity is not soft. It is the most expensive variable in your financial life. First objection. This sounds like motivational content. My circumstances are real. Changing how I think about money doesn't change how much I earn. And you're right. Mindset alone changes nothing. Thinking positively about money while making the same decisions produces the same results. But here's what identity actually does. It changes decisions, not feelings. Decisions. When someone identifies as an investor, they make investor decisions. They look for ways to redirect money. They research options. They act on small opportunities. When someone identifies as someone who struggles, they make struggle decisions. They spend to feel better temporarily. They avoid financial decisions because they feel overwhelming. They confirm the identity through action. Identity doesn't change circumstances. It changes behavior. And behavior, over time, changes circumstances. That's not motivation. That's mechanism. The second brick in the wall is comfort. Financial comfort. Not wealth. Comfort. There's a specific financial state that is dangerous precisely because it doesn't feel dangerous. You're earning enough to cover your expenses. You're not in serious debt. You're not in crisis. Things are fine. Not great. Not building. Just fine. And fine is the enemy of forward. Because fine doesn't create urgency. Fine doesn't demand change. Fine lets you postpone the decisions that matter without immediate consequences. I'll start investing next month. Things are okay for now. I'll deal with this when it becomes a real problem. And the months pass, and the years pass, and fine gradually becomes less fine. As expenses grow, as responsibilities increase, as the window for compounding narrows, until one day, fine becomes a crisis. Not suddenly, gradually, then all at once. The comfort zone is not a safe place. It's a slow emergency, one that most people don't notice until it's too late to ignore. Second objection. You're saying we should never be satisfied. Contentment is a virtue. Not everyone needs to chase wealth. And this is a fair point. Genuine contentment is valuable. Peace with what you have is a real thing. Nobody is saying chase more forever. Nobody is saying wealth is the only measure of a good life. But here's the distinction. There's a difference between contentment and comfort disguised as contentment. Real contentment comes from a position of security, from knowing your needs are covered, your future is stable, your options are open. Comfort disguised as contentment comes from avoiding the discomfort of building, from telling yourself you're okay with less, when really you're just avoiding the effort of more. The question to ask is this: am I content because I genuinely have enough? Or am I comfortable because changing feels hard? Those are different answers, and only one of them is actually contentment. The third brick, and the most powerful one, the belief that future you will handle this better than present you. I'll be more disciplined next year. When I earn more, I'll start saving. When things settle down, I'll build something. This belief is almost universal, and almost universally wrong, because future you is just present you with more time passed. The same habits, the same patterns, the same relationship with money, just older, with fewer years to compound, with more responsibilities, with less energy. Studies on this are consistent. People systematically overestimate how much they'll change in the future, and underestimate how much their current habits will continue. The person who doesn't save at 25 doesn't suddenly save at 35, not without a deliberate change, made now, not later, not when conditions improve. Now, with the current imperfect circumstances, the future version of you is not coming to save you. You have to save yourself. Today. Last objection. I understand the argument, but my situation is genuinely difficult. I'm not making excuses. I truly don't have margin right now. And I want to take this seriously, because for some people, this is genuinely true. Margins are real. Constraints are real. Not everyone starts from the same position. But here's what's also true. The wall is not only made of resources, it's made of decisions. And decisions can be made at any resource level. The decision to track spending for 1 month. The decision to identify one unnecessary expense. The decision to redirect $20 instead of $0. The decision to open an account, even empty, just to exist, as a container for future deposits. These are not resource-dependent decisions. They're direction decisions. And direction, even at very low speed, is infinitely better than stillness, because stillness has a guaranteed outcome. Direction has a possibility, and possibility is where everything starts. 3 things, not steps, shifts. Shift 1, change the story, not the circumstances. The story. Stop saying, I'm bad with money. Start saying, I'm learning to build wealth, not as affirmation, as identity, as the lens through which you make decisions, because the decision you make next will match whoever you believe you are. Make sure that person is building, not struggling. Shift 2. Create urgency, not panic. Urgency. Calculate what financial comfort is costing you, not in feelings, in numbers. Every month of delay is a month of compounding lost. At $200 a month and 8% return, 1 year of delay costs you roughly $2,900 in future value. That's not abstract. That's $2,900. Gone. From 1 year of waiting. Make the cost visible, and let that visibility create the urgency that comfort was suppressing. Shift 3. Do one thing today, not tomorrow, not when conditions improve. Today. Open an account, set up a $50 transfer, cancel 1 subscription, research 1 investment option. One thing. That makes future you different from present you, because the wall doesn't fall all at once. It falls 1 brick at a time, and the first brick is always the hardest. Here's the truth about the invisible wall. It's not built from circumstance, it's built from story, from comfort, from the belief that future you will do better. And none of these things are fixed. All of them can change, with 1 decision, made today. The identity that keeps you stuck can be replaced. The comfort that keeps you still can be interrupted. The future illusion can be seen for what it is, a delay mechanism, dressed up as patience. The wall is real, but it's made of thought, and thoughts can be changed. 1 decision at a time, 1 action at a time, 1 day at a time, until the wall is behind you and the building has begun. The system is simple. Change the story. Create the urgency. Take 1 step. The decision is yours.